So, guys, like you already probably know, Nintendo revealed their new console, the Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna make this video to talk about what I thought about it, specifically like my and also my reaction to it when I first saw what Nintendo was planning. Well, to begin, like basically, like I've already said before, we already knew what the console was. Like the Eurogamer leak was probably pretty accurate, and I want to point that out. Like the reason I thought that was already pretty accurate was because we're living in. I mean, ever since social media took off and everything, every technological leak or any leak on anything like video games, smartphones, whatever, it's always been pretty accurate, and it's pretty hard, I would say, in the world of today to hide that. And the main reason is a simple one. Like if you tell your friends, like even nowadays, if I go out and I tell my friends any like secret that I have, everyone within my social circle will absolutely know it within seconds. Especially if they like have an interest in me or whatever, they will know. It's not like the world of like in the past where it might take a week or so for that to come out. They know instantly. And now you're talking about like working with strangers. Imagine that, like telling strangers what your thing is and then not expecting them to talk. It's gonna happen. Like they're gonna talk. It doesn't matter what kind of legal paper or whatever you have to make them write so that they don't disclose whatever. They're going to talk. It's just the simple fact of nowadays, and that's what they did. They talked, and they revealed pretty much everything. The Eurogamer, like the drawing, everything was almost to the point. It was like almost exact. The fact that the D-pad was split, that was also kind of figured out. And it wasn't really a split D-pad. As long as you buy the regular Nintendo Switch Pro controller, it will have a regular D-pad. But for the actual like handheld part of the device, or the Joy-Con or whatever it's called, it's going to have a split D-pad, and the reason for that is simple because they're removable controllers. So if you give one player one controller, the other, they have to have similar kind of controllers. So the D-pad's it's also it's split. So it's nothing. I mean, it's amazing. Everything about it looks pretty good. One gripe that I have is that it's just basically like it's like what the Wii U should have been. I feel like the Wii U was just some sort of beta test at the moment. Like I talked to some friends and they said the same thing, and now feels like the Wii U was just some beta test for this new Nintendo Switch, and they should have at least Nintendo should have supported the Wii U a little bit better. I feel kind of like that's kind of why I'm on the fence with this. It's just because like the Wii U was kind of it was supported and it had some great games and everything, but I feel like it was really basically brushed like hidden from like public eye, and like they didn't really want to try really hard to support it, and I felt really bad about that because I really love Nintendo, and even when the GameCube was failing or supposedly failing, like they really went all out with that. But this is the first time I saw Nintendo not even try very hard. Like they tried with some games, and the worst, like the part that I hated most about this is like all those games are just gonna be ported now to the Nintendo Switch, and it's great because people can try them finally. Like Splatoon and stuff will get even a bigger audience. But I'm kind of sad because like everyone who supported this from the beginning, it's like it doesn't matter. Like they didn't really care so much about them. They just used us to see what works and what doesn't, and then they moved on and did something really good. Now the best part about it is like I love this idea. The Nintendo Switch looks amazing. Like it actually looks like a comfortable gamepad for the first time. Like unlike the gamepad for the Wii U, which actually looked pretty uncomfortable, it also looked like a toy. This one doesn't, so I wouldn't be embarrassed at all using this outside. Um, they made the system kind of bland, I would say, and it doesn't look really like it doesn't catch your eye almost immediately. Like I would say, like the Wii or even the all of their other systems, going back to the GameCube, the N64, even Super Nintendo, or in the regular NES. This is the first system I see that doesn't really like stand out. It doesn't, and the reason it doesn't stand out, it's actually pretty good because it doesn't look like a toy like some of the other systems. It's almost like Nintendo learned from what people have been saying, and they're just paying attention. And then now, for the first time, they want to do something the way people wanted them to do it, and they really succeeded. I would say they did a fantastic. It looks fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. I don't really like so much the docking station. I just feel something about it looks kind of cheap with the Nintendo Switch logo on it. That doesn't really matter because like the main part of the system, the console is the gamepad, and that gamepad looks pretty nice. It looks amazing. Things that I need to note is that it doesn't seem to have a touchscreen. Like nothing about it suggests it's a touchscreen. That's kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, it might be good because like they don't need it's not trying to be like a Wii U gamepad, or it's not trying to be like a smartphone necessarily, but at the same time, it is. So I'm hoping that it does have a touchscreen because I mean I just feel like in the modern world like it's a little bit harder not to do things without, it's hard to do things without a touchscreen. So hopefully it is, but it doesn't seem to be. On my other point that I wanted to mention is like I really don't know whether or not this will sell. I mean, I'm pretty sure. For in my mind, I'm just gonna say it is gonna sell crazy because it is Nintendo's first console that's also like a handheld. But the problem that I'm seeing with it is like I have some questions. Like one is like, can I buy other gamepads and use it with my one docking station so that like if I have kids, do I want my kids to play like a multiplayer game and I want them to take both controllers and play it, or can they have their own individual games? Because some of them are single player games, like Legend of Zelda I think is a single player game. So if I have kids, would I buy two gamepads and would that work? Is that even possible, or do I have to buy the whole console with two docking stations as well? That would be unfortunate if I have to do that, but at the same time, I could see why Nintendo would force that, but I mean, something about it sounds like they might release like just the gamepad themselves, and I'm hoping they do that. But yeah, I really don't know. The other, I mean, they fixed certain problems that the Wii U had. One of them was that the gamepad, once you had the gamepad, there was only one gamepad, and then all the other players needed to play with different controllers, and that kind of screwed over like a lot of like the dynamic of playing video games. Like there was one person that stood out, and the rest of the people were different, and that was kind of really unfortunate. What they did to fix that was that once you dock the game, the the handheld part, the gamepad, it's gone. Basically, you can't use it. Apparently, from what it seems like in the video, so you have to use some sort of controller, and that's pretty neat. Like people have been saying, it's unfortunate like that you might not be able to use like GameCube controllers in the near future. There might be like a way to do it with the USB ports that the system has, but maybe not. But at the same time, that's not so much needed because the controller that they showed looked pretty decent. It was a brand new controller and it looked pretty nice. Like it looks like the Wii U's Pro controller. So I mean, I don't see why anyone would complain so much about that, especially since it has a regular D-pad, it has everything. It looks comfortable. It looks nice. Um, so overall, the console itself looks amazing, and I kind of wished personally like I would this would have been the Wii U from the beginning, and it would have been just great. But anyways, moving on. Since the Wii U wasn't this, I have to question whether or not I want to buy this, and I would say yes, I would totally love to own this thing. However, I'm on the fence about buying it on the first day that it releases. I probably will, just because I always do. But I can see like why some people wouldn't want to buy it right when it comes out. First of all, we have no information about how powerful this system is. We only have like a hint, and that's the fact that it's powered by a Tegra processor. Like, but what does that mean? Like, how powerful is that thing? Because it says custom made one, so we don't know if it's Tegra the X1 or X2. So we have no idea. So I'm really hoping that it's at least as powerful as an Xbox One or close to it. That's what the original rumor said. I'm probably gonna guess they're right that it's close to the Xbox One, but not as powerful as the Xbox One. Unfortunately, I have to say that this is probably not as powerful as the PlayStation 4, or even nowhere near as the PlayStation 4 Pro. Though I could be wrong. I'm just assuming that based on what I saw, the handheld itself so thin. I can't imagine them fitting something as powerful as the PlayStation 4 Pro inside of that thing, and then keep it cheap or affordable at all. So unless this is like $1,000, I just don't see that happening. And I'm gonna guess it isn't. I'm guessing it's at least. I mean, it's gonna be more powerful than the Wii U, but that's one of the things that kind of disappoints me, that it's not, nothing that I saw showed that it's necessarily going to be more powerful or on par with the PlayStation 4, and that's kind of unfortunate, especially depending on the price point. If it's too expensive, there might not be something that motivates people to buy it as much, and that kind of sucks because like, I mean, yeah, handheld games are great, but there's also another market like me. Like, I love handheld games, but I don't tend to play them often outside. Sometimes I'll play them in the car or if I'm on a car trip, but like, since I'm an adult, I'm usually the one driving, or I'm the one that has responsibility, so I can't do that. So I don't. And like, again, like when I go out, like there's no actual place where I can play handheld, so chances are I'm gonna be playing those things at home, and that's kind of where most of my gaming will occur. So again, like it doesn't really change much. I mean, the Wii U gamepad had a problem where if you took it like 2 feet away from the console itself, it stopped working, and that was really annoying. This actually fixes that problem, so that's much better. I gotta admit, that's much better. I will probably be using that gamepad way more than I'll be using it on my TV because like I'm kind of busy, so I might take it everywhere. So that enhances my way of playing. Like we've already said, this isn't necessarily a new way to play, but like I've said tons of times, like even if you saw the Wii's original controller and the Wiimote, and you thought about the light gun that Nintendo released priorly, you would probably say it's not a new way to play, and you just misunderstand what those lines mean. Those are just like businessmen talk, saying like it is something new. It is something new. No other games consoles that's ever been released has done this, so it is a new way to play. Yes, it's been done. That's not what he said. He said this is a new way to play that's never been done. That was never said. So I don't know why people kind of thought about it too much and gave too much into that line. They obviously thought it was like some sort of scripture. It had to be some new way to play or something completely different that's never been done. That's not ever what was said. So like I have no idea why people pay attention so much to that line. We already knew what this was. We could have already guessed it before it was coming out. Like I already did with some of my videos. I kind of had guessed that it was going to be something like this, and it turned out to be exactly something like this. And that was before like people were necessarily hopping on the hybrid console idea when I said that. But still, it makes sense for the most part that this is what it is. And my reaction to all of this is like, I mean, I'm excited, but I gotta admit my hype prior to this was much more than what it is now. Like now that I know what it is and I saw some of the games, I feel like I can possibly, if I really wanted to, I could wait and not buy this when it first comes out. And that's kind of unfortunate for Nintendo. And the reason I can do that is because I'm hyped, but I mean, I can't play video games as much as I really want to. Because again, like I said, I'm an adult, so I have to do certain things like work and other things. And I just can't sit around and play video games. So like I can wait, especially since this is coming out in March and it doesn't sound like it's coming out with some of the greatest games that I cannot buy on some other console. Like I can buy the new Legend of Zelda on my Wii U, which I probably will do. And I probably will buy it for also the NX or the Switch. But I'm one of those people that will still buy the Switch probably on release. I'm trying to pre-order it still. I cannot find anywhere where I can pre-order it. When I'm making this video, I probably once I upload it, I may have already pre-ordered it. Anyways, so when I first saw the video, the first thing I noticed was that there were no kids, and they were trying to advertise this mostly to the late teens to young adult kind of market, and I'm guessing they succeeded in that. That's what it feels like. And then there's some I think some 30 somethings thrown in there as well. But overall, I really don't see like the need to overhype this. Like it's a great console. I mean, it's fantastic. But again, like the question will be whether or not the games that come out on it are gonna be the thing to push you to buy it. And if this is PlayStation 4 powered and it comes out with a whole list of great games and they come out quickly and it's highly nicely supported, I would say buy this over buying a PlayStation 4. It makes a lot of sense. But so far, so many people own a PlayStation 4 already, so like I really don't know where Nintendo like tries to compete with it. I mean, they're doing something like that's been done before in the original PlayStation did it, where they released a console kind of early in the time period, and they released it in such a weird date, and then over time it sells and it keeps selling, and it just is the best selling console. And there's a lot of things this console did right. One of them is using cartridges for the device. Yes, that's much better because like nowadays you have to install your games from a Blu-ray, so it's pretty much useless to use a Blu-ray. So using the game cards is really good. Like that's gonna change a lot of things. Plus, you can resell them. You can keep them forever. It's pretty nice. Aside from that, like there really isn't anything. I mean, the gamepad, the fact that you can take it everywhere, again, something really great. But aside from that, I mean, unless it's really powerful, there's really no point in buying this. And a lot of people might choose not to, since they might already own a PlayStation 4. And again, they might own something to play games outside, like a smartphone or a 3DS, and they don't feel the need to own this. However, this is slowly and possibly going to be very revolutionary, and then everything will be like this, especially in the coming years. Like the next PlayStation 4 will probably have to have something that's portable like this, and then the next Xbox as well. Like not so much the Scorpio, but the one that comes after it. Like it has to have something, and this will change the way people play games, especially if it's successful. And it's going to be great, but again, at the moment, is it worth your investment? That's where the question is. Like, it depends on the price and it depends on how powerful it is. When I originally bought Game System, the reason I was when I was like younger, much younger, I was super hyped for Game System. Had to do mostly with raw power of it, and the reason is because it felt like you're getting into some new world, something that's so nice and so amazing. Like you can do it in the past, and now you can totally do it. It was such a jump in graphic quality that it made sense. And then nowadays, since even when the system gets even more powerful, there's really not a noticeable jump at first, but there is. I would still argue that there is. So, and this would get you hyped. The numbers would get you hyped, and all this. Nowadays, like the way Nintendo does business is that they don't care so much about that, and I get their point because yeah, they say like the most powerful console is the one that wins, but there's a misunderstanding to this. Like when the console that isn't the most powerful console that wins the generation, it's always usually been on release the most powerful console, and then by the time it's super successful, it's no longer the most powerful console, but it's already like. But when it was released, on the date that it was released, it was really powerful, and it was probably the most powerful console, or one of them, anyways. And Nintendo's changing that. Nintendo's going like they're releasing a console mid-generation that's much weaker or something like that, or they release a new console that's a whole generation behind, and that's just not what people really were going for. The reason the original console, like let's say the PlayStation, when it came out, the original PlayStation, it was the most powerful console kind of at the time, and then the PlayStation 2, the same thing. It was the most powerful console when it was released. Yeah, the year later there was the Xbox and the GameCube, but when it was released, it was very powerful, and it was the most powerful console, and that's one of the reasons people were so hyped up to buy it, and that's what led to it being 150 million console seller. Like it was basically nothing more than that. So nowadays, like releasing it with some sort of an idea behind it, and not making it the most powerful console, yeah, you'll sell it, and especially if the idea is really good, like the Wii, like the original Wii, it doesn't necessarily mean like you're gonna be super hyped up for it. Especially like for people like me, like I would have been so much more hyped up seeing like Nintendo releasing a really powerful console that can actually have render amazing graphics, and all Nintendo games going on will be going forward will have amazing graphics. That would have been blown me out. Like it would have blown me away. But again, Nintendo's not doing that, and that's, I feel, a little bit unfortunate. But again, like this system, like it is something to be hyped up about. It looks amazing. Like it totally looks amazing. I totally, again, the gamepad itself is very comfortable looking. Something they should have done with the original Wii U's gamepad. And then the console, the colors, everything, like they fixed even the fact that the console is not like that black plastic that just gets fingerprints all over it. It looks like a matte color, a black matte color plastic, so it does look like it's not gonna get so stained. It looks really good. Every design point is like they paid attention to people. One thing I didn't like was like I was looking at the D-pads. I'm not the D-pads, the joysticks. I'm kind of questioning those. Like they don't look very like stable. They look more like almost N64 quality. So I'm hoping they're really good. I'm pretty sure they will be because it's a modern age. But again, that's kind of stood out for me. But I'm pretty sure it's just because it's in the image alone. But again, it looks fantastic. I cannot complain at all. I'm super hyped up. I'm probably gonna buy this on release date if I can actually get a pre-order in place. That's pretty much it. My reaction, again, like I'm guessing just as many people had it, was like at first was like this isn't as great as we were expecting, and then I was hoping like if there was gonna be more games to it. So some people might be disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. I'm mostly disappointed with what happened to the Wii U. Like I feel like no one has mentioned it, and even though it was a great console. But I guess that's pretty much it. Like the Nintendo Switch is gonna be, I mean, it's not gonna be necessarily super revolutionary like the Wii was, but it is gonna be something new, and it's gonna be something great. People are probably gonna buy it. Is it the only console people are gonna own at this time? No, but in the future, I believe they will. And I believe the reason they will is because the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, whatever, over time is becoming more and more like a PC. Like all the games are PC games. Nintendo's the only console that has any exclusive games that are very, very, very different and very, very good quality games. And that's alone is going to make them the greatest system to own. So I think over time, yeah, it'll be the only console that you will own if it's as powerful as all the other ones, especially in the future, like their next whatever comes after the Nintendo Switch. But at the moment, it's hard to say whether people want to buy it over a PlayStation 4. Especially, it all depends on, I would say, on the price and on the raw power of this console. If it's not as powerful as it as or as close to the PlayStation 4 and it's charging more, then it might not sell that well. But if it's cheaper and it's less powerful, then it might. And then again, if it's as expensive and then as powerful, then it might as well. But again, if it's weaker and more expensive, it might not. So only time will tell. I'm not really sure what to think about this. Like, I'm super hyped for it again, but I'm not as hyped as I was before the reveal because it ended up being exactly what we all thought it was, which I kind of expected. I already mentioned it. We already knew. Like in the last videos, I said it multiple times that we already knew what this system was, and it was true. We already knew. There was some surprises. I did mention in my last video there was going to be some surprises. The main surprise that we saw was, like, I think things like the D-pad. They went with the design where the joysticks were in opposite positions, and that I do like. I know some people prefer the Wii U gamepad, but at this time I kind of prefer this one because it makes games a bit more complicated in a good way. You don't just use the joysticks like you did with the Wii U. And the other surprises were the games. Like, we got a new Mario game apparently, and that Mario game looks really good. If it's a Super Mario 64 kind of open world game, it's gonna be amazing. But if it's a Super Mario 3D Worlds thing again, it might not be as hyped up. I mean, I'll buy it definitely, but I mean, Super Mario 3D Worlds, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Like, I was not. I'm not saying it's bad. It was a really good game, but I really, really, really want a Super Mario 64 style game again, and it can have something new, like the jetpack, like in the other, like Super Mario Sunshine. It can have anything new. I would love that, but I would like an open world again, and I miss that because, like, I haven't seen it since Galaxy, and I would even say Galaxy itself didn't have that as much as the prior Mario games. So hopefully they do that. Like, and the graphics look great, so like hopefully they really do. Like, that looked amazing. I would love to play that. That's the one game I really wanted to play. I want to play Zelda, but, like, I mean, it's coming out for the Wii U, so I'm not as hyped up to buy it for the NX. Like, I don't need to buy an NX for it. The one game I saw there that I need to buy an NX for was just that Super Mario game. Because Splatoon, all these other things were just rehashes of Wii U games. So I'm really, really hoping that on launch there's going to be more games than the ones they showed, and that at least some Nintendo exclusive, or at least have them announced. Because I want to be hyped up for this. I want to see a Metroid game. I want to see something new. Like, I would go for a new Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, whatever. Like, the ones they showed were old games, like that were already on the Wii U. So I'm really, really hoping for something new, and I really can't wait. Like, I really want to see a Metroid game because it's the one thing they haven't done in a while. And then, like, on top of that, I want to see more of this new Mario game, and I want to see, like, anything Nintendo, like all those Nintendo franchises. I would like to see them. Like, anything that hasn't been brought up in a while, I would like to see it. I know Pokemon's going to be probably on it, and that's going to be amazing. Can't wait for that. That's going to be completely going to change everything. Like a console Pokemon game, that's just going to be amazing. And I can't wait. Like, seriously, I cannot wait. Like, once this thing's out, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. But again, I can't say many people are super hyped up anymore because they finally got the information. A lot of people might walk away from it. And then there's the other crowd that's like me, that's super hyped and wants to get this by no matter what. And because we love Nintendo, and I'm part of that crowd, so, like, I'm probably going to buy this once I get my hands on it. I mean, I sense that idea that there's, like, some people are going to be disappointed. That's unfortunate, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people more like me that are hyped up. The thing that I think that kind of, I mean, I was slightly disappointed was that we didn't get more information about it and we didn't get to see how powerful it was. That's the only thing I'm disappointed with. Other than that, great idea. Nintendo actually is doing something more mature. They understood the market, and now they're doing something great. They didn't put any of those weird family portraits or whatever, those fake images of families, just nuclear family stuff. They didn't do none of that. They did something really good. They understood the gamers, and they're going to do something really great. And that's why I'm excited. I'm excited for this new Nintendo, and here's hoping for the better future. Guys, I'm signing out. I hope you have a good day.